Hello, this is Ametamartha with Collection Ascension, and this will be the reading for December 10th, the first quarter moon, and then this energy will run through until the 18th on the full moon. So please provide me with clear guided messages in order for me to be able to speak into the influence of this week for guidance, advice, preparation, and so on. What can we expect? Oh, hello. Oh, hello. So it seems like to me there will be an opportunity in our spiritual endeavor for us to accomplish gains in the emotional understanding of where we have been recently. So with the Knight of Cups paired with the Temperance card, it's like the divinity of this being, this angel or guide that comes in to show us exactly what this is that this emotional state has had to offer, will allow us to level up in such a way that we are able to balance out that emotion to solidify a new position of peace. And as we do that, it's going to allow us to build confidence in the area of intuition, because with the King of Wands, we're learning how to better understand how these processes work and see that we can trust in our higher knowing and our spirituality in general. And then in the future, what's going to happen is that when we're experiencing these reoccurrences of emotional response just to our regular lives and everything, and when I said that was at the 344 mark, and the 44 is all about, realizing that you're surrounded by divinity all the time and they're just waiting for us to ask for assistance. So other than working so hard to try to achieve everything all by ourselves, we can sit and remember that, and I said that again right at 4 minutes and 4 seconds, so we can remember that we have so many beings that highly regard us in our lives, and that they are just waiting for us to engage with them in order for us to have an easier time going through this incarnation process, this life that we're trying to live and experience. And then we have the Two of Wands in reverse and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So what this says to me is that whether we take the time to engage with this sense of spiritual knowing or not, it is our responsibility to interact with it. The Two of Wands, he is uprighted, engaging with his guides and intuition and inner knowing in order to decide what he wants to do in the world. But when we choose not to do that, or when we haven't done it yet, it is our responsibility to take up that position and ask, to make physical the spiritual depth. Because, when we don't, we're stifling ourselves from being able to access our fullest potential in the amount of wisdom that we have acquired through our life experience thus far. And, it's just a reminder to keep doing that, because as we go through these processes of transformation and experience so many different rebirths in our lives, the more that we open ourselves up to it, the quicker we go through these times. When I first started my spiritual awakening process, I was living on a high for months, and then I would have a low for like a week, and then I would be on a high again for months, and then I'd have a low. And I've noticed now, after experiencing the dark night of the soul and being on a low for over a year, and really struggling with all of my past traumas coming up, the more that I've just allowed myself to engage with every negative feeling, every negative emotion, allowing myself to just release it all, to surrender and keep myself available for the alchemy of just acceptance. And as I've done that, I've noticed that I will have an up for a week, and then I'll have a down for a day or two, and then I can get right back to it. And these downward spirals of energy are always going to be present, but if we know that we are powerful, we know that we are creating our own existence and experience through our perception and beliefs, and what we turn to when we train ourselves to remember at these times isn't the self-deprecating and solidifying thoughts of unworthiness and I'll never be enough and this always happens to me and blah blah blah. To remember, thank you for this time for me to experience my darkness and turn it into light, shine light on it and show love to it, and help me to get through this time. And just release yourself to be able to engage with the things that feel uncomfortable, and then you shift so easily instead. And then we become the hangman in reverse, which is just the inconsequential benefit. There's no hanging in the balance waiting for it to be over, because when we go through this process and we take the time to cultivate our relationships with our higher selves and our guidance and our connection to wisdom and intuition, then we don't have to sit in waiting for the more negative experiences to end. They just kind of start and stop within the same breath. And I said that at 8 minutes and 8 seconds, and 88 is also about accomplishment, so let's see what else I can get. Can you give me some clarity on this death card specifically? Okay, well, I guess that one wanted to be. So definitely shifting out of anything that is no longer bringing us harmony and peace. So all of the things that disrupt this sense of just celebration for breath and life, we're moving away from that. Because we're learning, how to take, well, this came out in reverse, but we're learning how to become the embodiment of a sound, surrendered, grounded, more developed and mature energy of the mind field, and processing the mind and choosing to live within that action of a higher mind. And these coming up together, this is the end of the cycle, this is the beginning of the cycle, then we have the death card starting the whole thing. So we're just going to continue to go through it over and over again until we die. But we're just going to constantly be rebirthed and re-raised, and then experience those different levels of ego death, and continue to attain higher understanding. It's just the cycles are never going to end. We're just getting better at it. It's like having your first child and then becoming a doula. You know, I don't know if you have that type of experience. Okay, this one's come out at the bottom of the deck a few times. We've been in a position of rest. The past few weeks, this card has been present about just like taking the time. The last reading I did was about it being kind of like slow and boring, but we're about to be experiencing new shifts as the energy comes through, and it's going to be time for us to start getting up and moving and processing what is called of us. Like this time of just of patience and waiting is over. Any last messages before I move on? The Devil in reverse. Okay, I'll use you two. Oh shoot, okay, that's cool. We got the Devil in reverse, which is what I was going to say about an imbalance. And then we also have the Two of Cups in reverse, which is what I was thinking already, you know, this imbalance of the logical mind and the emotional body, the thought and intuition, feeling. So as we release the things that inhibit us from being able to embody a fully balanced being, and we are able to learn how to balance those processes out. And I said that at 11:44, so obviously it's very present that we need to keep an open dialogue with our guidance in order to restore this balance, because what's next is balance. So this is a pretty cool transition. So what we're going to do coming out of this rest state is pick up and go, and it's going to serve us well if we engage with it to this level. So now I'm going to get my oracle deck from the Ask Your Guides book. It's by Sonia Choquette, and it is about developing communication with your guides. I always put it in the description box below because I highly recommend being able to function at that degree, and this reading really corresponds with that. So let's see, what kind of guiding systems can we engage with this week as we go through it? Who wants to be conversed with and collaborated with in this context? Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Alright. Dang joy guides are ever present. Okay. Interesting. What is this called? Pattern. So we have creativity with the creativity guides. Aish. Okay. Then we have restriction with the joy guides. Now we've gotten the joy guides consistently for the last few weeks, so this is a new card. What we also have is new beginnings with the Divine Father. Hi, Sky Daddy. And then we also have discomfort with muses. Interesting. Huh. I might actually want to see. I've never gotten that card before, so I'll get my little booklet. Hang on.